Welcome to 3Bs on a Mission, where healing is sacred, boundaries are sexy, and G is probably side-eyeing somebody already.
And sweating.
If you know, you know.
Mm-hmm.
All right. How you ladies doing?
Good. We're good.
Oh,
we got
all
some
right.
affirmations.
Okay. You want to do affirmations, and then we'll start to introduce everybody? Our girl Sean's with us. Tally's with us. G,
Hey,
Mr. B is with us this week, too. All right.
He's down there.
Okay. And then we're going to introduce our special guest, Kathy, too. All right. So why don't we start with the B's up in the upper corner, if you guys want to start with the affirmations.
I'll go ahead and start. Mine is,
Okay.
I do not need outside validation. I am confident in my life.
I love this. Is going to be weird when I read mine. So, okay. Go ahead, Tally.
I love, support, and believe in myself.
Yeah, girl. Love that. Love that. Sean, what you got?
Divine activity is now operating in my mind, body, and affairs, whether I see it or not.
I love that.
All right.
How about you, Kathy? You got an affirmation to share with us?
I sure do. What God does for others, He now does for me and more.
I love that. That's beautiful. I love that. All right. And then I'll wrap it up. So my affirmation is very similar to yours, G. I release the need for outside validation and remember my truth.
It's because we were together this weekend doing together things with
Synergy.
the I don't give a damn. I don't give a fuck. If you don't give a damn, I don't give a fuck.
Exactly.
Is that what the
So
Lil Jon
it must
chant?
be, our energies must have been syncing up. It's so weird.
Yep.
Okay. So we are very excited to have our good friend and trusted guide, Kathy, with us today. Welcome, Kathy.
Woo!
Kathy
So nice to be
is
here with you guys.
amazing. Thank you for taking the time out to be with us. We've been looking forward for you to come on. Kathy is a spiritual counselor and life coach, and who is, I'm sure, given loving guidance and intuitive insights to many people and touch many lives. And we're going to kind of get into how we're all connected and how you've actually impacted and touched our lives and connected all of us together, which is incredible,
So
whether you knew that or
crazy.
not. And I know that personally we can talk about how we've been grateful to receive your wisdom and insights and now to be able to share your beautiful energy with our online community. So welcome in.
Yes.
Thank you.
With that, I thought it would be kind of interesting to kind of connect the dots, Kathy. And I don't know if anybody's, kind of shared this with you or not, and this is kind of a magical little tale. Okay. I actually met with Kathy back in 2014, believe it or not, Kathy. That was the last time that
Can't even. I know.
you and I were connected. And the way that I got connected to you is because I was going through this horrible, devastating life circumstance at the time. And I had a really good friend, Christine, that I worked with, who also knew you. And she was like, you've got to go meet with Kathy. And I was like, okay, who's Kathy? She's like, trust me, this is who you need to meet with, at this point. So I remember that I met you at Bill Gray's. You and I sat down and we met at Bill
Yes.
Gray's.
One of my
And
places.
that's what I heard. So I was like, okay, I met you at Bill Gray's and I was in a really bad place in my life. Going through some stuff. And I remember that your guidance was exactly what I needed at that time. It wasn't, what I appreciated about you was like, it was not pink fluffy clouds. You just were a truth teller. You were like, this is the way it is. And I know you're hurting, but this is what you need to hear to be able to heal and move on. And so
You can say it, Wendy. I am extremely blunt.
I love that though. But you know what? That's what we need sometimes. We need sometimes the people to come in and just kind of lovingly grab us by the shoulders and say, you
This
need
is it.
to see where you're going. This is it. You got to go somewhere else. You got to do this. Right. And so I know that you do that. You did that for me. I know you do that for Sean. And so once I met with you, then I don't even know, Sean, how you and I talked about Kathy, but I know you were searching for somebody at that point. Shortly after, and I was like, yo, you
No,
gotta
you
meet
called.
Kathy.
No, that's you called me when we went to Kathy for your reading. Kathy sent a message for me through you about me and Taylor by name.
That's
And you
right.
called me on Halloween and said, "Hey, I have a message for you. Do you want it?" And I said, "Yeah, of course." And you gave it to me, and I listened to what you said, of course. And then when I needed some help with a dream I had about my mom, maybe it was even a year later, I asked you, can you let me know where you got that message from me from?
Yes,
Because me and that person were connected, and I wanted to hear, I needed help from that person, which was Kathy. The person I'm sitting next to, that's all like this. Right. This person. I
yes,
needed that person specifically because me and Kathy would have to be connected, but she had a message for me directly for some reason. Her and I were connected in some way. And I knew I could trust what came from her. So I
that's right.
wanted to, yeah, so I reached out to her. And so we've been together since like 20, 2014, 2015. I believe that. Time flies when you're having fun. 10 years.
Yeah, that's right, Sean. Thank you for reminding me of that, because now that you mentioned that,
Yeah.
that all comes back.
Isn't it
And I thought it was
crazy?
very,
Yeah.
very funny that
The
came
whole
through, and I
thing
was
is
like, this
crazy.
is for Sean.
Yep.
Yep. So that's how
which
we got.
then led to
Yep. Then go
me.
ahead, G. Yep.
Yep.
Which
So
then years
then
later.
years later, we all get back together, and Sean's talking about how she just came from Kathy's. And she's like, and Wendy's like, well, Wendy was high. So Wendy wasn't saying a whole lot of anything. So she was kind of like, yeah, I know Kathy. That was about it. So Sean's like,
Oh
oh no, you
wow.
gotta meet her. You gotta meet her. And I
Puts me
left
on
and went on my
blast.
trip. And when I got back, Kathy kept playing in my head, like, you got to see Kathy, you got to see Kathy. So I reached out to Sean and was like, hey, what's her phone number? So she gave me
Yep.
your phone number, and I just texted you. I had no idea if you were gonna respond or whatever. And I
Yep.
was like, look, this is, my availability. And you were like, great, see you Saturday, like
Yep.
11 o'clock. I was like, all right, well, I'm excited.
Yeah.
And then you
Yeah.
lambasted me all over the place, like, what
Yeah.
you need to
Because that's
do.
what she does. Yeah. So that if
All
you
done
didn't.
with love. All done with love.
Absolutely. And that's why
All
you ended
done.
up
100%.
being my spiritual mom at this
Yep.
point.
Yep.
That's just it.
And
We're
then
family. And
now we're sisters, which is just crazy because Wendy, you started with Wendy. She like, it just came all together. Full circle. It was in
It
all
did.
together.
It did. But that's how you know when it's supposed to be, right? And like it's been.
Right.
But then I have another weird thing, and I don't know if G mentioned this to you or not, Kathy. But so when I met with you in 2014,
Oh my
it was
God.
it was a while ago,
I
and
know, right?
I think it was 14. No, 2015. Excuse me, 2015, according to my journal.
Still.
I'm a journaler, right? So like I write things
Yep.
down because I get messages, I get visions, I get things, or when I meet with people that speak things into my, like I journal it, right? So I have a million journals, and I had this really special journal that I had started during that time. It was like a little gift to myself. It was this like nice, like I actually have it. So it was like this nice like padded like Jane Austen journal, okay, that I had started during my devastation.
I
And
did tell Kathy why that came up, because Mr. Darcy came up and you were talking about the author
yeah, Jane
of,
Austen of Pride and
yep. And you were
Prejudice.
like, I actually have a journal of that. And you brought
Yeah.
the journal out, and then
Yeah,
what's in
but
the
the
journal?
crazy thing was about this journal is that I had lost this journal. I had misplaced it because I had moved, a couple of times in that time that I had met with you. And some reason that this journal was just missing. Like it was missing. Okay. And it was missing until that happened with you, G, like literally a few weeks ago. A few weeks ago, all of a sudden I happened upon a box that had this journal in it. And I was like, oh my gosh, there was a journal that I haven't seen in I didn't know how long, at least 11 years. My daughter's 12 now. And
Wow.
so I, I pulled it out and I was like, wow, this is crazy. And then, it has this, the Jane Austen quote on the front, which is just funny because of the Mr. Darcy reference and all this business. But then I didn't open it right away. And a couple of days went by. And then I went back to it and I was like, oh my gosh, let me look at this journal. And I open it. And the very last entry that's in this journal was my meeting with you, Kathy.
Isn't that something, Lynn? My God, it is so cool. I got chills.
Yeah. That was the
So
very
cool.
last entry. And it was for a reason that this got kind of, shoved aside or
Popped
placed
up.
whatever.
It popped up at the right time.
And now it is. And then it came back. Right. So now it came back and I said, that's not coincidental. That's intentional. And then here you are with us. So this
I
is,
love it.
this is
It's
kind
so
of cool.
cool.
It is very cool how
Very
that comes
cool.
around. Okay. So Kathy, what we usually like to do is like, let's know about you. Like how did you become, a spiritual guide, counselor, life coach? Like what led you to this? How is this all
It's
unfolded for you?
amazing.
My godmother.
It's amazing. When I was 16 years old, I started knowing things. And I was very, very uncomfortable with it because I didn't have anyone to explain it to me.
Yeah.
So at that point, I said, I can't deal with this. So I stuffed it. When I was 21, my son was born, and I was throwing him around Longridge Mall when it was still Longridge, and they had a psychic fair going on. So I go, all right, just for the hell of it, I'm going to sit down here. Okay.
Yep.
So I sat down across from this woman. She turned as white as a ghost. And
Oh.
she said to me, you will one day travel the world over. I go,
Oh.
lady, do you see this baby right here? I'm not going anywhere.
Where am I going with this?
And
Yeah.
she said, yes, you are. And I'm like, so I forgot about it. Life happens. I got divorced. I started college. I was a single mom raising 2 kids. And then it started again.
Oh,
And it
boy.
was like, my God, this is crazy. So I used to just touch people, which is a very bad thing to do, and tell them their whole life story. Okay.
Oh,
So I said,
wow.
this is not so cool, especially after I had a few cocktails. Then
Oh, yeah.
that was fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I have a friend actually that is a Hungarian witch, and
Awesome.
she taught me how to do the cards.
Okay.
Because again, I was invading people's personal spaces by just touching them.
Yep.
And that was not cool.
Right.
So she taught me how to do the cards. And I hate saying this, that was 40 years ago.
Oh,
I've
my
been
gosh.
doing
That's
this
amazing.
for 40 years.
Oh, my gosh. Oh,
But
my
the cool
gosh.
thing was I became a teacher. I was a principal. I was a higher administrator.
Yeah.
But God always knows what I was supposed to do is exactly what I'm doing right now.
That's incredible. So
40
Kathy,
years. Holy shit.
yeah, well, hey, I mean, that's why you're so exceptional at, and at what you do and your
40
gifts. Like
more
it's just
Easy. 40 more.
easy.
Easy.
So when you say like you just started knowing things and things happen for you, so like how do you like do you like see visions? Do you hear things? Do you channel things? Do you get like how does that come for you? Like
It is so cool. Okay. When I sit down across from a person and we start the session, and each session is different. Some people need the spiritual guidance. Some people just want a reading. Some need a life coach, and I can do all of it. But the cool thing is we want to be in the beginning very structured on what the person needs. Okay.
Okay.
So I sit there and we have to tell her the story about your dad.
Yeah.
This is the best. I'm sitting across from her and I see her once a month. She's a once a monther. Okay. Just like Bridget is now a once a monther. And the thing that's cool, frequent flyers. Right. So we're sitting at our spot and I looked at her and I said, and she's looking at me funny. I go, your dad's coming.
Oh my gosh.
And she goes, I don't know my dad. I go, well, you're gonna. Right? And she goes,
I got news for you.
Nope. That's what she said. No. I go, well, you have to buy me a lobster dinner. Just so you know. You owe me a few. So she didn't believe me. And I don't know what happened. I said, he's so close. And she still thought I was full of shit. But then immediately after that, things started to happen.
They did. That's right.
And like bing, bing, bing. And guess what? She found her father.
That's incredible.
Sylvia's here. Thank God.
Yes.
Because
when she brought him into the restaurant, you got to see it. If you've never seen Sean's dad, look at this face. Do you see that? He
Exactly
looks
like him.
just like him.
Yep.
So I'm sitting
so
across
awesome.
from the two of them, and I'm like, I just said, thank you, God. This is such a blessing for my
Yep.
Sean and for Buddy that they hear each other now.
I did not believe it was gonna happen either. That's the only thing that I argued her about. This is the only thing. I usually, no matter what it is, I'm like, you know, no matter what it is, I'm like, okay, well, anything can happen.
Right. But she would normally
Yeah,
say that.
she has truly taught me that anything can happen.
Mhm.
Even before
Yep.
it happened. But for the dad, I was like, no. I was like, I told her, I said, I believe on everything but this one. I said, because it's no way I'm going to find my dad. And he doesn't even know I exist. And she's like, he's going to call me on the phone. And I said, how the hell is he going to talk to me on the phone? He doesn't even know I exist. He doesn't even probably know he got my mom pregnant because she didn't tell. I mean, I am going through like all the motions and she looked me dead in the face.
I know that's here.
He were. And then the
That
first
was
time we
great.
communicated, he called me on the phone.
Stop.
She like, I really don't
Stop.
know. He
Serious.
really called me on the phone just to she said. And that's what I just kept saying. She said it was gonna call. And she said it was gonna call. So I
That's
never know
incredible.
anything she said. But that is the only thing that I was like, I don't believe that's possible.
And today is so cool because it's your dad buddy's birthday, and they're going to celebrate it all together. And I just think, I have to tell you, that was truly one of the most unforgettable moments of my life when I got to see the two of them sitting across from me.
Right?
It was
That-
such a blessing.
That is
It was
incredible.
so cool.
That-
So it's everybody's different, and
Yeah.
that is very true. Everyone is really, really, really different. But what I do, I always pray before, and then when we start doing the cards, things start coming. And what I tell people is not about the cards, okay?
No.
Anybody can read tarot cards. They tell a story based on how the cards fall next to each other. Fine, okay? Psychics tell based on what they feel from you.
Yep.
I'm kind of the best of both worlds because I use the cards as a roadmap, and then I step inside the person. So I feel everything that's going on inside of you.
That she does.
Wow.
And
Oh
I
my
can say,
God.
oh my God, your neck hurts today. Or, oh my God, this
Oh,
is
the ball in my
happening.
stomach. The
Right.
ball in my stomach. Yep.
Yes, you
What is
did.
what is this? What is this? I was like, oh, good God. And that's when I came back from Tampa and I was really ill. And you were like, yeah, I feel that. And nobody knew that.
Yeah.
And yes, she was.
You
Mhm.
what is it with you? Because Sean said it too. Every time you go to the bathroom, you have like this epiphany and you come out and like so
Because I drink so much coffee. So I have to run to the bathroom during the session. And
I love
every
that.
single time I have an epiphany in the bathroom. It
What?
could be
You do?
something as crazy as call your eye doctor, or you really should
did.
do this, or it's just, it always happens.
That's
So
incredible.
it's just, it's so funny. It's like, okay, well,
Last night from Epiphany, I wanted to turn around and send her back to the bathroom to start over
what did I say?
Right.
about the sister. About my mom wants me to find my sister.
Right.
Yeah, I want to turn her around and send her right
And
back
now
to the
she's
bathroom.
giving me more shit like you don't
Yeah.
know what you're talking about. I just relay the messages, baby. It's not me making
I
it.
absolutely
I just relay the messages. That's it. I'm just the
gonna go on
messenger.
this record saying I need that's what she said. I'm just not gonna follow the steps.
Just listen, God's got us.
Well-
He knows what we need. He knows when we need it if we let him. All right?
That's right.
If we let him.
You have to be open.
But if
Well, that
we don't
was-
let him,
Yeah.
and I hear things. God has spoken to me twice in my life. And I
Wow.
have to share this story. My son's going through a rough time. He's getting a divorce, and it's been weighing heavily on me. Nobody likes to see a family break up, and it's ugly. So one night I'm in my bed praying, and I'm like, Lord, please help my baby. Please help my boy. Please help my boy. And I was almost like begging God. And
Yeah.
I just couldn't help it, right? All of a sudden, and since I've heard his voice twice, I know it's him because it's the same voice. Okay.
Yep,
And he says
yep.
to me, don't you trust me?
Oh my
I
gosh.
sat up in my bed and I'm like, ooh, okay. I go, yeah, I do. And I rolled over and went to sleep.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Don't you trust me? Can we all put that into our lives?
Yeah, 100%.
Don't
We have
you
to be
trust me?
reminded
So-
in different ways, don't we?
I get names, I get dates, I get all kinds of voices. I get poked in the back from people that have passed. One time we were doing a reading and I go, Sean, your mother's here. And I
Trying
said,
to take
Aw.
over.
it was so funny. I go, there's a tear running down her face. So tell them, one tear.
Yeah, she said,
There's only one
you said
tear.
your mother started laughing, and she said, and she's like, why are you laughing? So when my mother was transitioning, it was like a 10-day process, right? We know she's gonna transition because this happened, right? So I came in the hospital, and the nurse comes running over to me with a tissue in a Ziploc bag, and I was like, what is this? And she was like, your mother was definitely gonna transition today. She only cried out of one eye. That's what happens when people are gonna die. They only cry out of one eye.
And one
And
tear.
there's one tear. So she wipes the tear with the tissue with me, and she hands me a Ziploc bag with a Kleenex in it. And I'm standing in the hallway bawling my eyes out, right? Because of
Gosh.
this, because right what she's telling me is just like so like heartbreaking that now my mom is gonna die today, and you know this, and you're giving me her last tear, and I'm holding it in my hand, right? And then that week, I was just thinking, like, when your parents are transitioning and you're there, you go through so many heartbreaking and
Right.
tugging moments, right? It's like,
Yeah.
it's gonna be any time now because this, that, and that. But they were literally handing me anything: Q-tips, paper towels, trash bags, like old vomit bags. Were literally handing me anything, right? So
Crazy.
years later, because she's been gone since like 2014, I'm finding all these things. So I find this tissue and I bust out laughing. I swear to God, they'll do any goddamn thing, give you a tissue, tell us your mom's last tissue. I'm like, one tear in my ass. I'm like, I should throw it in the
Yeah.
trash.
And then you should have seen her face when I said,
One tear in my ass, I should throw it in the
One
trash. I'm
tear.
like, they were just tugging at my heartstrings. I hope they know I'm on the child. I was like,
one tear,
people.
one tear. And
One
she's
tear.
like, I go, yeah, one tear.
But I still bust out laughing because that's what I was like, throw it in the trash. And there she goes.
My gosh. That's crazy. That's
Um,
It
awesome,
was
though.
something.
it was
It was something.
awesome. It's funny to me, but yeah, my mom is constantly using Kathy to still harass me from the others.
Oh, yeah. Every time. Every time. She's got a message,
And she's
boy.
always sending me on a mission, like Carmen San Diego.
Right.
Like it's always a mission. It's like I need
Carmen
one of
San
those
Diego.
backpacks. I need a backpack like Dora the Explorer with all that stuff, a book, passport, a bomb.
I love
stuff.
it. My gosh.
She is with
Yeah.
like the messages that
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
the things that my mom said.
And this is the other thing that I really want to stress. When people are going through a rough time and they don't, not like Wendy, when you were going through your rough time, you didn't know what to do and you didn't know where you could turn and you didn't know, you were like paralyzed. And what we do is we take it step by step and give you everyday things that you can do so it's not so overwhelming. And it's all about, getting your power back,
Yeah.
being who you are. And
Yep.
women are notorious for giving their power away.
Please. Yes,
Notorious.
we talk about that all the time, Kathy. We talk about how
And
women abandon
I did.
themselves from a very young place, very young age, and they're taught to shrink themselves and overgive and all the things.
right.
And
And
so
think about this. Who is a woman's worst enemy?
herself,
Herself. Herself. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
where all the self-doubt comes in.
it's
That's where you
ridiculous.
don't have confidence. That's why you let people treat you like a doormat. All those reasons is because you don't believe you deserve good things.
We all do.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's actually funny that you bring that up, Kathy, because that's a lot of why we started this podcast and what we talk about is to talk about like our journeys have brought us to those places to learn that is what God's Spirit is teaching each of us in our own ways to be like, no, you don't accept less than you deserve anymore. And
Absolutely.
unfortunately, sometimes you have to come to the end of yourself, and we
Mhm.
have in all of our various different ways through death, through loss, through these random people coming in as catalysts in our lives. But it's all to spark that soul essence in you again, and to be able to get rid of all of the garbage that you've been carrying that's disconnected you from yourself and from
Right.
your soul, right?
And the worst thing about that is you're not going to be happy as a person until you're comfortable in your own skin and you love yourself. Nothing else matters.
Right.
Exactly.
That what
That's
is what
exactly
has to
right.
come first.
That's exactly right. I'm trying to teach
No
my
matter
daughter
what.
that very young, because nobody taught. She's 12. And so, and I've been doing that since she was a baby, right? Since she was a
Nice.
baby. Like, we've been, and she's a very bold, confident
Yay.
young person that's doing some really good things. And I just tell her all the time, I'm like, listen, the most important thing is you don't need anybody to validate you. Like, you don't need any of that. You are amazing.
Can you
Like,
imagine if we had that?
I
I
know.
mean, like we definitely
we would have
have it
been
together
unstoppable.
now, but
Right.
it took us to find it in ourselves. Can you imagine if somebody instilled that in us
When
at
we
the
were
time?
12, my
Yeah.
Instead of telling children should be seen and not heard,
yeah.
instead of telling children should be seen and not heard, and, make you think you knew what's all. Can
Yeah.
you imagine if somebody just was like, lying is wrong, speaking truth is okay. Like, feel free to like speak truth, right? And, be
Right.
who you want to be, and
Right.
But not to be afraid of it.
yeah,
The fear is ingrained, and kids are afraid. What are they afraid of? They don't want to make a fool of themselves. They want people to like them. They want to have friends at school. So the fear is the underlying factor that keeps them from feeling those good things. My
Yeah.
granddaughter's 10 and she's going through the mean girls at school phase
Oh,
hmm
yep.
at 10. And
It's
I said
sad.
to her, I go, Ken, you want me to go into school? She's like, no.
No,
I go,
no,
well, you
that's
let
not
me
what I
know, baby,
want.
when you need
No.
me.
I tell my
Yeah.
granddaughter all the time. I'm
Yeah.
coming to school with you.
It's
Trust
right.
me. I'm telling
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm trying to do that now with her. This is something we never had growing up. But, and
None
I
of
still
us.
see some of the pressure. Like, she's going to go through those
Mhm.
pressures just like they all do. But at least she has that foundation right off the bat. Right. So it's like she knows who she is. Like, and
Amen.
I've seen her like stand up and not be afraid to be like, no, this is what I want to do. Like, this is who I am. Like, hey, you don't like it? Oh, well. So I hope she continues in that path. That's all I want.
Well, with you as her mother, she will.
you.
Do it. Right. She'll do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my biggest wish for her.
I like
Is
that
that.
about us.
Mm.
I like that about us as a group. In our lives and in our families, we all are actually leading by example. We don't just expect you to just know it, like we actually show what it is that, we're very truthful in our teachings, I feel.
And everybody in our circle, in our tribe, in our families, they know that we love them.
Right.
So that is what makes it a safe place.
Just- Yep.
There's nothing wrong with that, though. It's like, it doesn't matter, because that's the one thing that I think is frowned upon for people to be blunt, especially women. And it's like, no,
Yeah.
you
And
can
us.
be blunt and truthful and be kind at the same time and loving. But,
Right.
it's just kind of like what you had to say to me, Kathy. Like, I mean, you won't remember, but like, you had to say to me, because at that time, like, I was still holding on to a hope for something with somebody that was not right for me at
Never
all.
going to happen, Wendy.
Never gonna happen. Yeah, and you were like,
Never.
"Listen," and the way
Nope.
you said it to me, and I even journaled this, was like, "You have been saved." Like, the biggest blessing for you is, like, you have been rescued. You have been saved from
Yep.
this fate, this thing,
Dodged a bullet.
because that's right. And so you have another path. Like, and I know it doesn't feel like that right now, but you have been divinely protected and saved to move in a different way, and releasing that. And so then that was kind of the focus, was like, okay, now how do you get to healing through all of this, which is what I
And the
needed
other
at that
thing,
time.
right. Well, this is what I tell people. I don't blow smoke up your ass, because why would you be sitting down with me? Why would you want anything from me if I
Exactly.
was just going to say what I thought you wanted to hear?
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
exact opposite. I do.
Right.
Exactly.
And then I mean, so each one of our experiences are different. Like, she told Wendy something she didn't want to hear.
no.
She
Not
helped
the time.
Sean with her father, finding her
Finding
father,
that.
like a lot of things. And with me, I was just kind of, I don't know why I was honestly there. Like, I was like, I want to see what she says about me. And then you just blew me away. So with me, you were like, okay, well, you work from home, right? And I didn't tell Kathy anything about me sitting down.
You have-
She also could feel like people that weren't in my physical reality yet. She's like, oh, so who's this guy? We call him Mr. Darcy on here. I was like, there is no guy. There is no guy. And you're like, yeah, no, he's here. He's watching. He's gonna show up pretty soon. I was like, what? I don't know. I don't talk to anybody. Week later,
And he sure
it was like,
popped in, didn't he?
sure did. And what
Yep.
did you say? You said, okay, well, this one you're gonna be nice to. I was like,
Right.
wow. Because I
Wow.
didn't choose this one. All my relationship I chose, I've shared that they were dog shit.
Mhm.
And
That
you
is
confirm
confirmed,
that, not
Kathy.
knowing all
That
of
is
my
confirmed. I can
relationships
confirm that
were.
firsthand.
Yes. Shut up.
Losers.
Yeah, I've lived through those. They were garbage.
Y'all know how I'm gonna be ganging up on
Okay.
my wonders.
Yep.
I mean,
It was like as if you
they make bad choices too.
We all have.
right, all the bad
Yeah.
choices.
Y'all did.
Well, it's really fun.
But isn't it
then,
so cool to know that you can be happy? You can be happy.
yeah.
Not rocket science.
Yeah.
Called fate.
No. Yeah.
And you can choose different, even though you've chosen badly,
Right.
and you're in a situation at any point you can choose differently.
yeah, I think
Start a
that's
different
really
reality.
yeah, I think that's really an important point, Sean, is like it doesn't matter what you've done in life and it doesn't matter, you know, what age or what, threshold you're at or whatever. Like you can always choose different. That is true. Like you can start in a different path. You can say like, you know what? I have been miserable, or this hasn't been working for me, or I can't feel this, or I've wrecked myself over and over. I've done people wrong, whatever. Like you can just stop and start moving in a different direction, like one day at a time. Like you can
Yep.
change your life.
And you have to
You know?
forgive yourself. We all
Exactly.
make bad choices. We all make mistakes. It doesn't mean that we're bad people. And you got
No.
to stop. We beat ourselves up so much for no reason,
Exactly.
so we got to stop.
Exactly. And then, some people they carry that guilt for years and years, right? Because maybe they've been shown that that's the way it is. Like maybe they grew up in family systems that, use guilt to kind of motivate people or, remove people.
Was in a happy place. Like my happy place was being alone. Like I was like, oh, I'm so good. I'm just alone. I'm so good. And Kathy's like, no, you're going to get out. You got to go do things. So when I have to start
Absolutely.
peopling and I start blowing people's shit up because I don't know how to people, right? There's thunder. I don't know if you can hear that.
Ooh, I can
Yep.
hear it.
I thought I just saw lightning or something was just happening in his room.
Some B hates it.
Yeah.
Good thing you're holding it.
So good thing you had me going out there peopling, Kathy, because this is what you get.
Yep.
That's right,
Yeah,
baby.
that's
I
it.
want you people.
It's real people.
Well, it is very people-y. Well, so let me just tell you a little something, Kathy. I don't know if she shared this with you or not, but before she saw you, I saw her the weekend before. I was out in Rochester.
Okay.
And I spent some time with her and we were, sitting down and we were doing some readings together and that kind of thing. And all of a sudden I looked at her and I said, I feel like you are like blocked in kind of this area, like in her upper kind of, abdomen area. And I used the word blocked. I said, I don't know any other word for it. It feels blocked. And I said, and I really feel like there's going to be somebody that's going to be brought to you or you're going to be brought to them. Like that's kind of like somebody that's more advanced in their spiritual journey and gifts. And that is going to help mentor you and get whatever your blockages are right. And she's like, I don't know anybody and that's not whatever and whatever. And then
Yeah.
it was like, what, like a week or so after that you went and met with Kathy. And I was like, huh? Yeah,
Isn't
exactly.
that funny?
Exactly. Yeah, you can flip me off, but it was the truth. And then you ended up telling her the exact same thing. And I said,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
you
had a
know,
ball in my stomach.
yeah, I was like, why didn't
And
you
she
use
named
that
him.
term? Yeah, I know. But I didn't know all that. All I just knew is there was like a blockage. I was like, there's a blockage for you. And when you were saying like, oh no, like I was good. I'm like happy sitting in my
I was
non
good. I'm
people.
good.
You're not good. You're not good.
I am
And
good.
that's the thing.
You
It
will
was
be
not
good.
good.
You will be good.
She was good, but she gonna be better.
You're gonna be better. Yeah,
Yeah,
she'll be better.
she's gonna be
Exactly.
better.
Good,
Exactly.
better.
You're trying to make sure you're better. Better is better.
Exactly.
Got it.
And that's what we all want, right? It's like you all want to kind of get to your, like you're always working toward like your best self, like, right? And that's a process,
Mhm.
that's a journey forever.
But if you
Very
think
much.
about it, right, the universe wants you to be your best self because just in this quick situation, think of how many things had to line up. You guys started a podcast and then double back and dug me up to be on the podcast, on which I talked about Kathy quite a bit, which I know Kathy through you in the first place, right?
Isn't that so?
Which because of that, we dug Kathy up and completed and cleared up your block. All of these things had to happen and take place in order to get there. But Wendy was like, hey, and this is gonna happen and this is gonna happen. And it did. So it's like everybody is so connected. And I wonder if I can imagine that we've done this probably many lifetimes over. But I wonder if I truly feel like you find your people, no
Yeah.
matter what race, shade, creed you are. You find your people. And sometimes that's why we see people in these weird, like, friend groups where everybody is
Like
complete.
an old white woman.
Yeah. And it's because our souls is connected. And it doesn't matter what we took. The steps line up for
Right.
us to find each other. And if we like sometimes in some lifetimes, the steps line up faster and we are maybe more closer in age and maybe both the same race. And pretty right. Or like sometimes and then sometimes our lines are just so off because in order for all of us to even be here, we had to go through a lot of adversities before, right?
Correct.
We're all friends because of what happened to us in our childhood and our past. Like it was
That's
pretty
right.
far
Right.
for all of us, which is how we got here.
Yep.
But some of us need to go through it longer than others. Some of us needed to start longer than others, like it, but we all experience the same thing to end up in the same place with each other. And I just feel like this is not the first time, especially for us as a group. And especially for as far as I feel as we're gonna go right together as a group. Like I feel like I finally found my people. Like I do believe you have to have a team,
Right.
You do.
and the right people have to be on the team.
You
And
do.
if you believe that you are the strongest person on the team, you're definitely on the wrong team.
Exactly.
I always like to be on a
I don't
team
ever
where I
want to
feel as
be.
though I want to be on a team where I feel as though most of the time, why the hell am I on a team? Like
Right.
honestly, right?
I'm
And
green as
everybody else
hell.
is like, everybody else is rocket science. Like I want to be, the person on the team that's can learn from everybody. So I feel like we have found our team, and it just took this long, but I feel like now that we found each other and unlocking these blockages, and how this, me, monthly me keeping me on track because if you think about it, some of us clearly need more guidance. See, Wendy
Yeah.
hasn't needed you since like 2014.
That is
I
so
needed you.
crazy. I'm gonna see her soon, just so you know.
She is. She's gonna see me in a few weeks. So
I
yep.
also feel like it runs up to personalities and to people because Bridget is also like, I'm gonna see Kathy monthly because I mean, you know what I mean? Like I feel like it's all by we all need that higher mentorship, right?
Yeah, we do.
We are all together and brought as close as we are
And
because
that
of
is
that
so cool.
higher mentorship.
And the thing that this is funny that you said this. I truly consider you guys family. It's in my heart. That's where you are. It is. And you saw what I posted about Bridget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
The
It was
referral turns
beautiful.
into a family member.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? It's the truth. But I do readings all over the United States. I do phone readings. And I have a girl that I just did last week. I have been doing readings for her for 25 years, and we have never set eyes on each other.
Wow. Crazy.
25 years.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's
She's in
amazing.
That's
Philadelphia.
amazing.
It is just
And I would never want to see her face at this point because that's how crazy I am. I would want to keep this going.
well, someday I'm going to hug her in person. And then I
That's
had two in
amazing.
Pennsylvania that I'd been doing monthly, and we actually met at a restaurant and had a luncheon, so I got to see their faces.
I
That's
love that.
amazing.
It was
That's
so
amazing.
cool.
Do you wish you don't see my faces?
No, I love your face. I love your face.
That was the energy with me. Like I'm the prickly pear. I'm not the hugger. I'm not the whatever. But the first time I met Kathy when we were leaving, I'm like embracing her, and then I come back in for another one. I'm like, you
Yeah, you
are
know.
like it felt like is like mom figure. Like this is like
Right.
comfortable with my mom. And then like with
I'm
Sean, I'm telling you, that's my twin sister right there. I know this doesn't
Yeah.
look like that, but
That's the
or
Wonder
wherever
Twins.
she, you know, when we're sitting together and
So,
she like will
How
put her
about when I was going through what I was going through last week, and you was like something's wrong with Sean, and you called and you messaged me,
I text
right?
you.
With my father, he's my father with hospitalized. He had a massive heart attack, and everybody sent him good prayers and good energy and juju, whatever you believe in. He had a massive heart attack, and
He's
he
still
was that.
kicking.
Yep, he's still kicking. I was like really struggling. And Bridget was like, "What's up with you? What's going on?" She was like, "Is everything okay?" And I was like, "Actually,
It
No.
was just
this."
midday.
Yeah, I was like, "Actually, no." And she was like, "I knew." She was like, "I knew something was up." And she said she was with Kathy, and Kathy was like, "I don't know, something's going on." And she was like, "It's Sean." She was like, "Me
Yep.
and Kathy
Yep.
both felt weird at the same time."
Yeah.
And she
That's
messaged
so
me, and
weird.
yeah, that's what was going on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because that
because
stuff is true. Because like when you become energetically connected with people, like soul wise, like you can feel them. You can feel them. You know when
Absolutely.
something's off. You can like, and that's the reason you start to have this kind of tribe and family and what the people you connect with is like you don't even have to hear from them. Like all of a sudden you're like, oh, something's weird, something shifted, something's not right.
But that makes me feel kind of bad about other relationships with other people because it's like, is that genuine? Because I don't have that with that. I'm not
Yeah.
to do it kind of way, but it's
You
really
don't
cool.
have the same
Yeah,
relationship.
it's like,
It's a
Yes,
totally
exactly.
yeah,
It's
different.
totally
it's like
different.
Not everyone is spiritual.
it's
Not
on a
everyone's on a
it's on
journey.
a soul level
Yeah,
with
we
us.
are.
Like we're all on a like
Correct.
soul
Yes.
level, like we're so connected and so
The
very
people that
respected and can learn from each other. I just love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The people that you are soul connected with, Sean, like you're gonna start to feel and hear them if you don't already. Like they're yes. It's like, and just like we will with you, it's like that's why G did that with you. It's like, and
Yeah.
maybe not all of us are alerted at one time, and then sometimes it'll be this person or that person. They know which ones to call on. It's like your soul always knows like who it needs and what it needs, and it's like, and then the people that are connected to you are going to be, it's like it's like a hotline. It's
But
like
you
It
wonder
is.
who else is coming.
But you know what's interesting with you
It
saying
is
that?
no.
more
This
people.
is more people are coming. But what makes it cool
Correct.
is
They
you
are.
know how you feel when we're all together, right?
Yeah.
You know what this feels like, and it's amazing. But when you go outside and let's say you go meet another friend for coffee or something, it's not the
No, yeah.
same.
No,
And I
it's
have
not.
friends, shouldn't say this, but I'm going to be 70 in January. 7. I can't even believe it. But I have
Amazing.
friends that I have been friends with since kindergarten,
Wow.
and
Oh my
it
gosh.
doesn't feel the same.
No.
It's not the
Nope.
same.
Nope. Any
And
relationships.
you have to accept that. And a lot of
Yeah.
people try to
Yeah.
drag people along with them. Haven't we all
You
done that?
can't.
Come on,
Yeah.
I'm going
Yeah.
here and you got to come with me.
I've been
Yeah.
respecting the fact that it lasted as long as it did.
Yeah.
Oh, I
But
like that.
that's really where I've been with it, right? Like I've really been respecting the fact that it lasted respectfully for that long,
Okay.
that we maintained a friendship for that long. Like
Yeah.
because some people never experience that.
Right.
And here
No.
like I've experienced that with several people and several different groups. I feel like that's a blessing. But then I feel like if it doesn't continue, I'm okay with it too, right? Because
You have
Yeah.
to
at
be.
this age, I
Yeah.
only want to share space and talk to people and connect with people that it's a true connection.
Right.
I don't want to. There
Yeah.
are a lot of people in my life that I love the same way that I did when I met them, right? But at the same time, I don't really care to share space because I'm not growing from that experience.
You love
That's
on
right.
them.
It's just like that same love has been stagnant. It's like a high school relationship, right? It's like I love them in that same way, but I don't need to carry them with me forever. Like, let's just keep that moment and let's just keep that and respect that and love that for each other and move on without any animosity. Let's just leave it like we've grown apart, but
That's
not
right.
negatively. We just both needed to grow separately.
But you're a rarity.
So are
Most
you.
people, yeah, but
But
most people.
well, you see, like, and I try to communicate that to people sometimes that,
Right.
I'm not mad. I just can't maintain this.
Right.
Like keeping track of you and honestly, you're still doing the same thing.
That's
Yeah.
I can't maintain this. Me constantly keeping track of you. You barely ever calling me other than to tell me that I stop calling you type of toxic thing. And then, but I will feel really bad about that. I used to. If you told me that I'd hurt you in some way in a friendship, then that would make me, that would hurt me. I want to be the best friend in your life. But now I respect that I can't always be the best friend to everybody and that some friendships naturally need to die. Not negatively, but because I really need to put my energy into the friendships that I have that are nurturing me, that we're actually learning from each other and growing from each other. Especially being a woman in business, right? We want to,
Sure.
Missy, I'm sure Missy can attest to this. You only want to be with women that are doing
Yeah.
the same, at least the same thing as you, right? Like
Sure.
definitely not less than you because then what are you guys learning or growing or, continuing in your practice or your careers? You don't. So I think that is a common misconception that some women have, and that's why they kind of stay where they are and don't like awaken or really just like level up because their friend base is still all just so comfortable in that same moment that they've been in.
you're comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah. None of us, but all of us navigate really well in the uncomfortable. Every last one of us have been in so many uncomfortable situations that we actually thrive from it, right? And grow.
Because
Right,
something changes.
right.
Yeah. It definitely does. Yeah. And and I think the other thing to kind of add to that is like women are kind of groomed to be nurturers, right? So like from a
Hmm.
very young age, you feel like, oh, I'm a failure if I don't keep this thing going and keep pouring
Yeah.
into things, right? It's like, and especially if you've seen that kind of modeled in your life, like where G and I grew up, like we saw
Hmm.
relationships be poured into constantly that you knew were not going anywhere. They
Right.
weren't nurturing. They're not, but it was like we saw the women just continue to just pour because it was their duty. It was the thing that they were responsible
And
for.
they
And it's
got
like,
nothing back. Nothing.
exactly, or bare
Yeah.
minimum. And so, but
Right.
that teaches you something as a young woman, and then you have to unlearn that. I mean, and that was something that for me, I had to overcome that and unlearn that and say, oh, no, I will not accept breadcrumbs anymore. And I will not
Yeah.
pour into things that do not equally balance with me. And I'm not looking for anybody to heal me or pour into me in a way that's like, oh, you've got to, no, I'm responsible for that on my own. Like, that's my stuff.
Right.
But I want you to show up the way I show up. And it's like, if you show up and you are supportive and loving and nurturing like the way that I am, we're good. We're good. Like you
Right.
said,
Just
Sean, because that's how
reciprocate.
things
Yes.
grow.
Yeah.
That's how things grow. I
Well,
love
a
that.
lot of it too is especially with us and all of our age groups, right? Like these younger girls, they don't care, right? They were not raised with the same principles and rules that we were. Girls don't curse, girls don't spit, girls don't do all these things because all of these things are seen as a sign of strength to men. If you're out doing that, like women wear skirts, so you can't help lift the car off the child at your butt. You got to wait for a man to come and do it for you, but we've all been so programmed with these things, even as strong as we are in our women, and as strong as we are in our marriages and our everyday life, we still, it's very hard to deconstruct those things, right?
Yep.
And really, but it's really easy to empower it if you see another woman doing it, because you're like, girl, but if you think about yourself, like we still at this age have a very are a product of our environment, like I'm
Yeah.
still very much children should be seen and not heard. I still find myself trying to make myself really small all the time from my mom saying, "Oh, Black women don't need to be loud, you don't need to be seen on the stage. Don't ever bring attention to yourself." Right? That
Mm-mm.
was her thing, right? Don't ever bring attention to yourself. You always just want to be there, always want to be overdressed, never underdressed, just all these very professional things, which still carry on to this day, which a lot of them I'm proud of. I love being overdressed than underdressed. Like some of these things I do believe make me the person that I am, but some of them are just there's bullshit. It's really bullshit. It really is, you know, because that's the other
Well, you didn't listen to her about not being loud,
Yeah,
and you shouldn't
exactly.
have.
but then in that same sense, like my kids hate wear pajamas outside and like all the
Right.
other things they do, but to them, they just want to be comfortable. To me, I'm like, you look like a dirtbag. You look like you're homeless. And then I'm like, this is my version of like, get off my lawn. Because that's
Exactly.
not, yeah, these,
Get
you have
off
to
my
just,
lawn. I
you
know,
gotta
same.
have you gotta have your of age nuances, I feel like. At the same time, we all want to respect what everybody
Yeah,
else grow.
yeah,
And this group, I feel like we not only empower each other, but other people outside of our group to definitely
yep,
be themselves.
yeah, yeah. That definitely is true, Sean.
And to definitely be as weird as they need to be. Because
Yeah,
we talk about our stuff just like I talk about myself everywhere. I've never cared or seen to be weird. Like I said, my mom, my grandma, all the women in my family have always had crazy intuition. My grandma always communicated the stuff on the other side. Spirits have always communicated with me since I could hear and see. So, you know,
you're lucky. That's not been my experience and G's experience. Like we came from
right.
environments that
Not at
did
all.
not embrace that
Shut
at
it down.
all.
Or us.
Actually, yeah. Oh, it did not
Oh,
embrace those things at all. Like, no, those things are not of God. That's witchy, evil, whatever. Right from the
That
very
drives
beginning.
me so insane. I want to.
I know, and I'm like, okay, so then, as this has all happened to us, because you can't stop that. Like, once this
Right.
happens, it's happening, right? It's happening. So,
You know what the question you have to ask them is? And I do, because I get tired of people saying I'm the devil's spawn. All right.
yeah,
And
yeah, I
my
love that.
response is, how many people have you helped have a closer relationship to God? How many people have you helped? Because I've
Exactly.
helped thousands.
Exactly.
I can attest to that.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly. And that's what it shows, right? It's like your gifts are going to show themselves. Like if it's evil, it's going
Right.
to show
yeah,
itself as being evil. If it's
Right.
good and godly and it's going to show itself as you've just
no,
explained. So it's like I don't need to prove anything to you. It's like you'll see in
nope,
time whether or not how I fall on whichever side it is. And I don't care how you think that it is because you get to a point where you're like, I know who I am and I know what God's doing in me and through me. And that is it. And like, I have a mission. I don't need to be bothered with you. I need to be helping the people that I'm called to
Others.
help,
Right.
period.
And you
I
said
don't care
three
about all that.
words that's it. I don't care.
I don't care.
Every single one of us should have those three words in our vocabulary. I don't
Exactly.
care what other people think about me. I don't
Exactly.
care, if you're
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I don't care.
It's not my
I don't.
job.
It's not, and I'm not
It's
doing
not
it.
my job to hold those feelings for you any
I
longer.
got it.
No
I got
thanks.
your shirt said I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I'm not doing
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
because I
I'm
don't
with you.
care.
I'm with you on all of that.
I don't care.
That's the next shirt. I don't care.
Yeah, that
Okay,
was.
I don't know, maybe G, maybe you said this to them or not, or like if we've shared this or not, but so at the very beginning of the new year, G and I were together. G and I came back, we shared all this with Towley. We had done some readings and we were like, hey, Spirit, just tell us like what to expect this year. What's happening this year with us, with 3Bs? What the heck are we doing? And it was like bam, 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 bam. And I think it was 5 people, G.
Yeah, it
Five
was
people
5
that we were
people.
shown. All of a sudden it was like 5 people. And like it took us a minute to recognize this. But Spirit started showing us 5 distinct people that were going to be brought in this year to broaden this community, this mission, and starting to kind of build this tribe, this team, And so, and then they were giving us very specific, kind of archetypes for each one of these people. So it's like you'll know because this person's going to be
Wealth and
mentored.
knowledge, master
This
at the
person,
skill. Yep.
yeah, this person's going to
Mentor.
be, this person's going to be more creative. This person's going to be a mentor. They had a bunch of different things, and I think we wrote it down, or I did because I always write it down.
You
But
do.
what I
I
want, the
don't.
reason I'm bringing this up is because we're watching this unfold real time. So the first one that, we talked about, we always joke like, Towley's favorite thing to say is like, listen, when we're younger, we had like 100 pennies. Like we got all these people like in our community, like we got 100 pennies out here. But as you get older, you like 4 quarters are better than 100 pennies is what Towley always is saying to us. And we laugh about that. And we're like, yeah, we started as 3 quarters. But this year, we're going to be at $2 at the end of the year because they're bringing in 5 more quarters, right? And so I'm saying all that to say the first one to land was Sean. Sean was brought, into us, with us, like connected. And even Tally was like, listen, we got to get Sean on. We got to get Sean on. Like she was the one that kept saying, we got to bring Sean in. And I was like, okay, yeah, let's bring Sean in. We're going to bring Sean in. And then it was like, whoa, okay, yep, we need to bring Sean in. So Sean was one of those archetypes. I honestly think, and I said this to G when she started meeting with you, and I know Sean was meeting you, and I'm coming out to meet with you now again after all these years.
Yep.
I think, Kathy, you're another person in this thing. You were one of the people that's brought in to work with us to help keep mentoring us and aligning us as we're growing and moving in this too. And like, I think you have a role to play in this.
I believe that with my whole heart.
100%. And it's because it would be so bizarre. How else would we all be connected? This is all weird.
We
It's
wouldn't.
like otherwise it's so
We
weird.
wouldn't.
Right. And so, and we were shown somebody who was kind of like a spiritual leader, spiritual mentor, somebody who is going to help kind of groom us. And we're like sitting there green as hell.
She was already my sister.
And you know what's kind of cool about it? What you guys get from me, I get back double from you. I want you to know that. The energy when I leave Bridget, I was like, it wasn't like I gotta go take a nap. It wasn't like that. It's like this is so
awesome.
cool. Yeah. So it's
well, we'll see when you meet with me. You might be like, man, I am exhausted.
I gotta take
you
a nap.
Are something. I gotta take a whole nap, Wendy.
I doubt it. You know what I'll do? I'll say, Wendy, buy me an ice cream.
I'll buy you all the ice cream, Kathy. I'll do whatever you
That's
need.
it, right?
Whatever you want, I will buy it for you. I will get it. No worries.
Ice cream is a bill raise.
But wherever she wants.
George's is breakfast.
Okay. Yeah, I meet with her
I
in the
get George's.
afternoon, so it'll be afternoon. It'll be ice
So
cream.
you got ice
cream.
Yeah, she'll be ice
Fair
cream.
and breakfast.
Love it. I love it. Yeah, so I just wanted to share that because I think this is how cool this is. Is like we were already told. So we know that there are 3 more. And so we're like, okay, before the end of the year, there are 3 more people that are coming. I don't know how they come. I don't know when they're coming, whatever. But listen, we didn't
don't
even
have to worry about it.
I don't have to worry about it. They're coming.
Nope.
They're already coming.
They're coming.
And they
might
make
be the
fun of
one
me.
my breeder this group.
Yeah. 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 And the cool.
She's peopling again.
She's peopling. Whether she
Nah,
wants
she's
to or
like-
not, she's
Like-
peopling.
She's peopling.
She
I
got
did-
people like
But I did really good this weekend, didn't I? I went out
You did.
all the places
You
with
did.
you.
You
I
did.
did.
You did
Listen,
peopling with
thank
me,
you very
which was
much.
good.
I'm proud of you.
And
Because our people for us all the time.
Right.
I know you people for us, I protect us. Like that's what
Yeah.
happens.
We people in heart.
And it's so funny that Kathy felt like really good after she left me. I mean, because I don't share when like Sean talks about sharing energy, I keep my energy very, very protected. And that one just tapped right in, like tap, tap, here it is. And of course, I mean, Sean, Missy, Wendy, like my energy bounces all off of everybody around, in this area. But I go out in public, I'm very guarded, very, very guarded. And this is the first time I'm meeting Kathy, and she's like, and all of a sudden I'm like, now I'm a hugger, and we're hugging, and
I'm a hugger,
and
man.
you're my
You
mom.
gotta hug me.
There you go.
I
That's
don't
all
care.
right.
If you don't want to, you're gonna hug me.
Yep.
Oh well,
You're
in it
going to,
now.
but it's all good energy. And again, it's like I didn't even know you, and I was willing to unlock my cage.
Yeah, I
That
love
was
that.
nice.
I love that.
Yay, I love that too.
Yeah.
Yep. It was so cool. It was so much fun. It was so cool. And you
Yes.
sat there looking at me like we were like stunned.
Yep.
And I'm like,
Deer in the
"You okay?"
headlights.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
why are you?
Yeah.
I was trying
Yeah.
to explain it like to our listeners, where I was like, listen, she's brutal. She's brutally honest, but that's exactly like what I need, because I will tell people quick, fast, in a hurry, like, I don't give a fuck what you're saying, whatever, and just like walk away. But
Yeah.
you're like, no,
That's
this is
true.
what it is. And, give me the feedback on why this is. And I'm like, damn, you just dug right down in there. And we're like,
Yeah.
just pull it
That's
out.
And the
what you
cool
need
thing,
sometimes.
you can't hide anything from me. And I have people
They
that
don't
try
even allow
to,
to
right,
explain.
and they try to test me or say something stupid. And I'm like, listen, I am not a circus dog that's going to play tricks for you. It's not happening.
That's
Like,
awesome.
what
I
the
love that.
hell?
Don't be playing with our good energy now.
I know, right?
No.
One lady said to me, and you guys will love this. I was so mad. I was doing a group in Cornell, New York, okay, with a person that I've done forever, probably 30 years. And I had been at her house. Her husband knew me well. Her whole family knew me well. And she had to go out and do some sporting events with the kids. So I was in my room, and this woman walks in, very pristine and proper. And she says to me, "What are your credentials?" I said,
Okay, here we go.
"Leave." I said, "Leave." She goes, "What do you mean leave?" I go, "Leave." And she's like, "You're not going to do a reading for me?" I went, "Out."
See
So
ya.
she huffed and puffed and left. My friend's husband came in and said, "Kath, I've been watching you do this for a lot of years. It's the first time anyone got done so fast." I go, "She didn't get done so fast. She wasn't getting done at all." Again, not a circus dog, not doing tricks.
Yeah.
This isn't, this isn't, this is
Right.
serious stuff.
Right.
This
It
is about
is.
life. Yeah, it's not
It
about, isn't it nice?
Right.
Tall, dark,
Don't-
and handsome.
Right.
And you're going to win the lottery tomorrow.
my
Oh,
gosh.
please.
Yeah,
I could
okay.
never. I know.
No, that's no. And no, I think that's a really good point. Though, Kathy, because just because you are called to do this work doesn't mean you're a punching bag. Like, you don't take whatever
Right.
rolls in. It's like, no, you have boundaries and standards too, and spirit respects that. God is not going to send you people that are like going to be abusive.
Well,
You
the
know?
cool thing is he'll send them, but he'll know that I'll make them go home.
Exactly.
Okay,
That
so
you're like, nah, she'll handle it. She's good.
Because
I'm
I
not
don't send
working on it.
anybody to Kathy that I don't like. If I have shared space with you, I'm serious. I feel like it
No.
is a benefit and a blessing to be able to sit with somebody like Kathy and get the information that you will get,
Yes.
the life skills, the coaching,
Yes.
everything, the information, like
All of
all
it.
the things that go with it. If I don't
Yes.
like you, I will not let you share space with her because
No.
I don't want you for her to have to experience what I see in you, right? Clear- If I don't like
Exactly.
And then I'd have
if
to
it,
kick your ass
yeah,
for sending
yes,
that person.
She's
I'm
gonna
like, what?
you gotta be a good friend to me.
yes.
You can say friends and friends.
Mm-mm. Oh, didn't we have one that I was like going nuts about though? But she was a friend of a friend.
I
That
didn't send it,
no, but
and I didn't. Apparently I wasn't clear about the rules to Kathy.
The rules. I love it. Bridget,
Their
the rules.
own time.
Rules.
And then we got somebody who stood her up who is dead to me to this day.
Oh, yeah. She's done.
Which I think is insane. Like,
Yeah.
would you book and
Not only once, I think it happened like
Yeah.
3 times.
yeah.
And
Oh
I
my
said to Sean,
gosh.
that's it, man. I am not, oh, I need an appointment. Oh, please. She would come to Georgia's. I mean, I did readings for her for like
Yeah.
2 years.
And
then she just,
and that way.
yep. So I
Yikes.
told her if she ever called me again, I would tell her the price is $500 and you have to pay first.
I love that. I love
Only
it.
sent one person that I didn't like because she had only personally wronged me.
Oh, and I liked her. Yeah.
I knew that she had only personally wronged me. I sent it to Kathy, but I'm not gonna lie, I told her the price was more. And I don't care if she sees this. I told her the price was more. Kathy probably thought she got a tip.
That's incredible.
Thank you, God. Thank you, Sean.
I knew that she was toxic and in a bad place, and that she
She was.
wanted Kathy to help change her life. And even though I wasn't interested
Yeah.
in being a friend anymore, she was a
Yeah.
parent, right? And she was a community member, and I wanted her to get back on track. So they just cost her a little extra, but she got what she needed. I did not deny her the service.
But it's cool. It's all good. At the end of the day, we help who we can. And some people don't want to be helped.
That's
They
very
don't.
true.
It's a choice. I
It is a
want to be
choice.
better each day. I'm better today because I'm here with you guys. I
Yeah.
want to be better each day. Yeah, nothing's going to change because you don't want it to change. People
Yeah.
are happy being miserable.
That's crazy.
Don't you guys know people that are miserable and they don't want to
Yes.
change anything?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
I
Yes.
stopped
And
wasting
those are,
energy on those people.
Right.
that's why I try to avoid those people if I can, because they're
Right.
like energy suckers. No.
Those people are
No.
like 8 million miles away from you when they
Yeah,
move
it's
to
true.
their people.
That's
Where
true.
there's no people. So there's
That's
no
true.
people
Why do you think I
energy.
did?
Well, they're
Why do you think I
energy
did?
vampires.
They're
Oh, I do
energy
think
vampires.
they are.
Yes.
Energy vampires. They just want
Yeah.
to suck it out of you.
Yeah.
can't
I'm not
Segment where
interested
the
in that.
possibility that they won't come nowhere near. So
Well, she's
Yeah.
going to be coming back this way, which will be cool. I can't
Yes.
wait.
Yes. Yes, I will. Yeah, it'll be interesting because, like, I mean, it's been so many years, Kathy, but like,
I can't. 12 years. Holy moly.
yeah.
And
And
we're still kicking.
I'm thinking, like, when you tap into this, it's going to be very different, probably, than it ever was
Yeah.
before.
Good.
So, or
I like
hopefully,
different.
right?
Me
Yeah.
and Bridget have been keeping her warm for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
They've
actually
been
see her earlier that day.
Yep. She
Right.
does.
That's a cool thing.
So you be everything.
It'll be good. Like I
Yes.
said, ice cream, and you'll be golden.
Hey, I'll get you ice cream. Don't you worry about it. I'm good for that. I'm good.
I know. No, I know.
I love it. Anything else,
Such
guys,
a
that you
weirdo.
want to touch on? This has been amazing,
Okay.
Kathy.
We want to make sure that people know how they can get in touch with Kathy.
I
and
will
be-
put
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you, Sean, for that reminder. We will put all of Kathy's information and we'll make that all available through all of this, through
Cool.
the social channels, as well as on, YouTube. Kathy is outstanding. Listen, if
Amazing.
you are looking for
I love you guys.
real deal guidance, support, somebody that's going to truth say to you, maybe you need to be kind of grabbed by the shoulders and told, like, listen, you're in the wrong place, or you need to whatever.
I have
This
to
is
show you
your
guys something. Can you see my jacket? I worked for a company, and this is a Women of Power jacket.
It's
There's all
amazing.
kinds of cool stuff. There's a
You got
Wonder
one-
Woman emblem, Girls Kick Ass, Rosie the Riveter.
Oh my
So-
God, I love this.
I had
It's so
someone
good.
make this pitch for me, right? And everyone
Yeah.
was like, "What's kayak? Hey, kick your ass, Kate.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kick your ass."
That's
I like
awesome.
that.
That's
That's
right.
what
She's not kidding.
No, she will. She
just-
definitely will, but she'll do it with
Yep.
love.
Yeah.
She'll do
Always.
it
She,
with
she
love.
even tamed the dragon.
Or-
Yep.
Or
she
she'll call
did.
me.
I know.
and be-
Love that. I
Me
love it.
too.
So, Kathy, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being
I
a part of
loved it.
our tribe and our family. And I mean, personally, we certainly need you and are glad to have you as part of part of
Our family.
the
We are a
growing,
family.
Yes.
yeah, the
Mhm.
growing tribe that we are. So, but yes, we will make Kathy's information available, and don't blame us if you get a flood of people calling.
It's
You
okay.
might
I
have.
can handle it.
She'll let you
I
know. She will. She'll let you know if she can or not. But you better come with
Yep.
good energy.
Come with good energy
got it.
because the fiery twins will definitely follow up if you don't.
Exactly. She
Yeah,
doesn't have
that's right. You
security.
don't want the Wonder Twins on your ass
She's
if
got
that happens.
security.
So just come with good
Just so
energy and
you
intent.
know, payment shall be made before calling.
My manager here.
Yeah, Sean.
Manager.
She's my
Yes.
manager.
Sounds like Sean is your business manager. You should probably
And
get
You know,
him a
it's
bit,
so
Sean.
wonderful. Think about it. Who
Yeah.
would want to screw around with Sean? I
Nobody.
love it.
Nobody.
Nobody, right? So I'm saying,
I'm a self-appointed businessman.
whatever,
Yeah,
man. I
listen.
love it.
I'm not
Listen.
saying about my dog line.
Our community has already heard about how Sean's running out of the acupuncture clinic with no shirt on and her gun defending the people. So like they know they don't want to mess with Sean. Okay. they know. Yeah. Yeah. And if they did, then the other Wonder Twin is right behind her. So to back her
You
up.
damn
So
I'm hoping to be
skips.
You are.
then that's like,
be
no.
better.
Things are
It's like
good.
it's cool because like in our tribe, I'm not fierce at all. Like I mean, I am badass type of woman, can stand my ground for sure, but I don't even need to fight anything. I got these two. These two are like the bodyguards. Okay, it's like
It's the
man, holy
best.
crap,
And
it's
I may be
amazing.
old, but I'm still fierce.
Yeah.
Trust
Oh
me.
yeah, you always have to be fierce, Kathy. Definitely, you will always be fierce.
You know what? We're trying to do is help as many people as we can and just enjoy this life that God has given us.
Yeah.
That's it.
Period.
That's it. Yep, that's exactly right. And I can't say that any better. Okay. All
Okay.
right, ladies. Thank you
This
so
was
much,
fun.
Kathy,
Thanks,
for your
guys.
time. Join us
This was
again.
fun.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you later.